What's up, guys? Welcome to Step Up Podcast. It's your host here, Nelly, in the building. Got my co-host, Allie.
What's going on?
And then shout out to our special guest here, Mo Vaughn, man.
What's up? How are you? Thanks for having me.
Want to get it going, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. Thank you.
Definitely want to get into it, shoot into it. You know, a guy who came from Northeast, got to play in Northeast baseball, you know, major leagues. You were up there with the Red Sox. Thought that was pretty cool. Went to college out there. Tell me that route, you know, start from the beginning. You know, let's start when you in high school. There wasn't no perfect game around, nothing like that. Let's see what you got there.
I try to tell parents all the time, you know, I basically got to play 20, 25 games of spring and summer baseball from the ages of 12 to high school. You know, we played your high school schedule, and then you played either junior, senior Babe Ruth or American Legion. I don't even know if American Legion is on still. And that was it. I played other sports because, you know, you had to play the other sports in those places. I think that was my now speed and agility, was playing the other sports then. I understand that now. But that was the realm. We knew, you know, when I first came down here, started playing perfect game 5-6 years ago, you know, I was just telling you, we played 112 games at 8 years old with the machine pitch, like what's crazy. I said, "Oh my God!" But I just couldn't believe it. Luckily I came to Florida. It's baseball heaven. Perfect game is allowed. A lot of great stuff.
A lot of doors.
A lot of stuff. A lot of doors for the kids. But for me, I then went to college. I went to Seton Hall University. Played there in the Big East.
How'd you like that? Like, just in the cold alone, baseball's got to be a little different, you know?
I just started, I thought it gave me a little bit of grit, a little bit of toughness.
Yeah, rough around the edges.
A little rough around the edges. I played with some great players. Craig Biggio, Hall of Famer. I played with, you know, Dana Brown, who's now the general manager of the Astros. John Valentin was a shortstop, played third base. Kevin Morton played. He was a pitcher. I played with a lot of guys that really knew how to play. So
real names, household
names that were good players. But I think, you know, when we all get together, we realize, you know, how good Seton Hall was for us and the type of team and players we had. Some of the best coaches that we had were players. You know, the guys that, you know, they weren't the best players, but they knew how to win. And they taught you that. And then coming out of that whole area, you know, you remember you got Jeff Bagwell, Hall of Famer, coming out of Hartford. Charlie Nagy, I played against, you know, was out of Connecticut, played against him with the Indians. Myself, you know, then you get down to the tri-state area, a lot of guys coming from the Northeast. But I think it's just because, you know, it was a little grittier, it was tougher. Mm-hmm. We really respected when we came to Florida, and we wanted to show our stuff, show that we could maintain. I still believe that being able to be in the sun and get, you know, baseball is about getting at bats. How many times do I walk the home plate? How many times do I make that play? And that repetition is the reason why most position players go to the major leagues are from Florida. Mm-hmm. The pitchers are from up north because they pitch a little bit less, but we get to play the game a lot more down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's all year round. You ain't got to worry about weather.
Right.
You ain't got to worry about nothing like that, which I think a lot of people, when they look at baseball, they look at West Coast, you know, Florida, Texas being the prime areas where you want to go play. You know, you coming from a school, you know, again, that college you went to, what was it again?
Seton Hall University.
Seton Hall University. See, that's bad. I don't even know it. It's such a small school, which I want to get into it, not dissing it. It's more showing these kids, like, you don't have to go to a Florida, a Miami, a Vanderbilt. You could go a Chipotle, a Miami-Dade. You know, you could go to a Cedar, where you were, right?
What I mean by that, and what I take from that is, I was very fortunate when I went to Seton Hall. My coach, you know, was an assistant coach, guy by the name of Nick Bonus. The reason why I awarded Jackie Robinson Nutter, he just passed like a month ago, just a loss in my life. But when I was at Seton Hall, he took care of me and made sure that I did the certain things that I needed to do. How many stories, come on Nelly, how many stories do you know of people going to the top 10 Division I schools, getting there and becoming lost?
Too many.
Great players.
They just get lost in the sauce.
And they get lost in the sauce, or they don't understand how to work. So my point is, sometimes the small school where you can be seen, just like, you know, the smaller classroom, You could be seen. That coach is taking a personal interest in you, making sure that you do certain things. Because in baseball, if you can play, it doesn't matter if you're on the moon, they're gonna find you. You don't have to be elevated. You know, it sounds good. Yeah, I want to go to a top 10 school. Well, you know what? They're drafting 5 shortstops like that in your position.
Yes, they are.
5 second basemen.
Yes, they are.
5 pitchers, 10 pitchers, 20 pitchers. And they're really not worried about how well you do. It's all about, are you ready to pitch? And if you are and you're not, you're going to go sit down.
Yeah.
And we're not going to care about that.
No, I agree.
So you want to be in a position where
surrounded by the right people.
Surrounded by the right people that care about your development. And I think that that's most important.
I agree. I can't go off that more or less because when you go somewhere where you're wanted, and that's what I'm getting from it, right? You want to go where you're wanted, you need it. You know, you have an opportunity to play. Not, you know, I go to LSU, not dissing LSU or nothing, but I have to compete against 3 other guys, 2 of them being seniors. Right. You know, upper class usually beats out the freshmen, no matter what age. You know, unless you're that special guy. And if you're there and you're that special guy, then you know, kudos to you. But for the other guys in the world, I think it's smart for them to go where they want. You know, I don't think, you know, having realistic goals sometimes helps out. You know, especially
just get on the
game.
field. Just get on the field as well.
Well, and you have an interesting perspective of that as a father that played for your son. How do you think you give him that mentality that it's not growing up in this world, especially in Florida where it's baseball, 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 baseball? How do you push onto him that it's like sometimes it's not how much you're touching the ball, like the work you're putting in, but it's like, how do you preach him that mentality that it doesn't have to a world revolve around baseball all the time? You mentioned playing other sports or like.
I'm lucky because I take in an intimate role in understanding him. I can see him when, all right, he's on his, you know, 7th workout session of the month, and I see the energy going down, then I back him off. And I know, and it's my job, it's your job as the parent to understand that it's always not go, 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 go. You have to give these kids a chance to mature and grow. And I'm lucky because I understand what that is. But it's not all about playing. And I think that parents and sometimes coaches, all they want to do about play. It's actually about as much good practice and less games and getting that good practice to hone your skill than it is about going to play every single week. And we as parents got to know that. My parents always yell at me, why are we not playing? Because you don't need to play.
Yeah.
You don't need to play this week. We'll play in a couple weeks. Keep working hard. Keep getting your reps.
Let's not going to every showcase.
It takes
one moment someone see you.
Exactly. It's like, listen, we love the show because we throw, you and I throw great ones, and we want to give those opportunities. But I just want people to understand how important it is to have timing, let your kid rest, build them up, bring them down, give them time, give them off. Mentally is what we're trying to do, and create that environment.
I think you hit it on the nose with that. I think, you know, a lot of these parents need to hear from a dad that's played pro ball and everything that let's not make it a job too early. You know, let's let them fall in love with the game. You know, this is a game of failure. They're still kids. You know, we spoke about it earlier before the cameras were on, about being an athlete. Baseball players baseball coaches and colleges and pro guys don't draft baseball guys. They draft athletes. You got to be a kid who could move around, because if you're a first baseman or a shortstop, what's the chance of you being shortstop playing in the bigs? Real little, right? I might put you in the outfield. You might play center field. You want to be one of the best athletes. I'm going to move you around. If you can only play one position, what does that mean? You know? And then going back to what you said now, it's like these parents push their kids so much, you know, not saying it's a bad thing. It looks like they live through them. And the coaches that chase, you know, these trophies just for themselves, not for the kid. On the dispense of this kid in his arm, I'm going to win this tournament. Which a lot of, you know, guys like us understand that you can't do that, because are we doing it for ourselves or for them? You know, we winning that tournament does nothing for me and you.
No one remembers your stats.
No one.
At 11 and 12 years old.
No one cares.
No one cares. 13 years old, 14 years old. I think they start picking up at, you know, that freshman year in college. And that's when those people start really recording. But no one really cares now.
No.
I feel like the kid either burns out physically or mentally.
Right.
When they don't love the game, when they don't have the chance to find a love for it for themselves.
Yeah, you have to love this game to get ahead of the game. You have to want to play. You have to want to practice. And I kind of like bring it up to my son, and I walk away. And now he's starting to talk to me now. You know, he's coming up on 12 in June. You know, Dad, when we going to do our work? And that's what you want.
Yeah.
When you do it on their own. When they start talking to you on their own.
Starts bugging you to go
Start
do it.
bugging you to go do it. But on most sides, just get the good work.
Yeah.
Get the good practice. Get the good mindset. Put them on a path that is successful, that is consistent. Don't deviate. You're going to see a lot of different things coming at you in different ways. Try not to deviate, understand what you're trying to do, and stick with it. And baseball is a marathon. You will pick up things. I look at it in quarters. I want my son to learn 4 things. Every quarter, you know, we have in a company, we have an assessment. We have an assessment. That's how I look at my son. Every 90 days, I want you to show me that what you're working on is coming. And then over a course of 5 or 6 years, you should understand the game. But you can't expect it to happen like that overnight. You have to be in it.
It's not one of those games, unfortunately, you know. Now that we're on that subject, I wanted to touch a little bit on the goals of your organization. You got VSA moving around. I see it everywhere. You're growing fast, which is the toughest thing in travel ball is to grow. You got a lot of teams. Being a minority owner, doing the minority stuff that you got doing. I see a couple of events you're going. You just told me earlier you got a MVP event with minority baseball program for the inner city kids. You know, what's the main goal? Because obviously you didn't start an organization just for your son. You know what I mean? You could have just had one team. Let's call it what it is. You clearly wanted to change and impact a few of these guys' lives out here. You know, I want to hear your thought on it. You know, the reason why VSA is here.
VSA is here to give first the right physical, technical coaching. Because you know, and parents and people, I want you to understand, on the offensive side, if you continue to take the wrong swing over a period of time, there'll be a time that you can't break it. It'll be like burnt into your body where you can't fix it.
Yeah.
So technical, mechanical coaching is my number one priority when you're swinging the bat. I'm gonna teach you the right way to swing the bat. And that's the first thing. And that goes for on the defensive side also, the pitching side. I want to get as much as an owner of the organization, I want to get as many people around me that know the game that I don't have to look back.
Yeah.
You know the game, go teach the game. In terms of the vision, we were speaking, I'm up in Boca Raton on Congress Avenue. I'm between Palm Beach State, Lynn University, FAU. VSA should be a hub to help all these different areas, or whoever wants to. And we should be able to develop a relationship where our
the little leagues and everything.
Little things and the word is there. And then, in terms of I want to give every minority player an opportunity that I can. However, in terms of VSA, in terms of how I want to affect the minority community, it's the same way I kind of look at that like I want to affect every kid the right way.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't care what color you are. If we can help you be a better player and instruct you, that's what I want to do. Now, there's black, white, Spanish, all different type of players. And I'm gonna see you, when I see you, I'm gonna say, hey, I need you to do this, or we wanna be a resource of information that can help everyone. And the minority players need to understand that and let us get involved and let us help. But as a total view, we wanna help everybody become better and use all of our resources and what we know to teach the game. And I think even more now, the mental approach is what it is.
Yeah. This
even
is more mental.
Even more than the physical approach.
Yeah.
We gotta talk to parents, we gotta talk to coaches, we gotta talk to players. And I always say this, in baseball, adversity will be at your doorstep every day.
Absolutely.
How are you going to handle that? And when you can answer that question, we got a chance to move on.
100%. I agree. Like that's, to me, that's huge. That's the adversity part is the biggest part. A lot of kids now and a lot of parents, and coaches can't understand failure at this game, right? And that's the first thing we learn. First thing this game's gonna do is gonna punch right in the mouth
Every day.
What am I gonna wear me out the whole time? And it sucks. And guys like you that actually own an organization that play the game, there's not many of us, that played and own it and could bring that type of light. And I love the fact that it's just black, white, brown, green, yellow.
I don't care where you come from.
Yeah,
I feel I have a platform that can help everybody.
Yeah.
If you come to me with an open mind and the ability to listen and just try to take in some of the things that I'm telling you on all sides, mechanically, mentally, athletically, durability wise, strength and conditioning wise, if you're open to listen, I will try to direct you as best I can to the right way.
I think that's pretty awesome.
I think it's an incredible thing. Both of you guys have this voice in the industry, if you would, the baseball world, using it to not only change lives, right, and their mechanics on the field, but it goes back to the household and the home and this advice you're giving the parents. But I want to backtrack a little bit to when you were talking about the community and just up north. You come from up in north part of the country, northeast. Something that you've kind of given back to the community, or what you think that as you go back and you look at your life off the field, just what that area is, kind of how it shaped you as a person and kind of molded you into maybe your aspect on not only the game or this adversity that you're going to face, but how it's toughened you up and prepared you for not only the baseball world, but things you're able to carry into like the professional world now as you have a career.
I'm gonna take you on a little bit of a journey, but it's okay.
Long question.
In 2003, I retired. I retired due to injury. Probably the most devastating time in my life. I am absolutely sure. I am absolutely sure I was. There was depression. I'm absolutely sure there was uncertainty. I'm absolutely sure that I knew that the question was going to be all I've ever been known for as in this world as an athlete. How the hell are people going to identify me now?
I feel like you lose part of yourself.
You're lost.
Like, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? What am I going to talk about? Lucky enough, I was playing for the Mets. Michael Bloomberg was the mayor of New York City. He's also a Boston guy. He called me and he goes, Mo, you really want to do some things that make a difference? Or you should want to plant trees and just, put your name on something. I said, Mayor, I want to make a difference. So I got into affordable housing. And we did our first 289 units in 2004 in the Bronx, New York. And from there, from 2004 to now 2022, we've owned and operated over 19,000 units of affordable housing throughout the country.
That's
where we
incredible.
rehabilitate lives and families. We're in every borough except Staten Island and New York. We had properties in Boston up. So for me, that reshaping lives, giving families an opportunity to have a better life. You believe it or not, in some of these cities like New York and all these other big metropolises, that's their living. It's going to be affordable housing. There's generations of people giving them quality, affordable housing to care and to feel good about themselves. And then on the whole side of that is the whole professional side. As a professional baseball player, there's like a 2-hour window. I had to learn that when you're in business, you gotta be there on time. My partner really educated me on that process of showing up, being on time, being present. If you don't know much, keep your mouth closed, listen, understand the game. When you get the game, then you can start talking. And I think every athlete, in my opinion, should do an affordable housing deal, because I think that will show them what it means to be in business and being on time, showing up, being professional, handling a construction a construction job.
Yeah.
Having the recs ready every quarter, every 90 days when they come, it created a tremendous sense of responsibility for me.
Yeah.
And it taught me so many things about going and sitting with people, sitting with senators, putting on a coat and tie, knowing
Real
when understanding everything there is about professionalism. I learned through affordable housing. I then in turn get into VSA, and I brought all those different aspects of what I learned as a pro athlete playing the game, as a professional athlete in the affordable game, and now I'm putting together this,
all in
this
one
shop
piece.
of one piece. And it's funny, I was so mad when I retired. I was pissed. I was mad at the game. I hated everything and anything about baseball.
Broke your heart.
And then my son started playing, and I had to get back involved. And now I realize what I really am is a guy that is here to give information, teach the game, and make a difference and lay down some tracks. And when I'm gone, I hope I've done that as a person who gave back and tried to teach these people the right way to play the game.
It's incredible. Well, you're definitely getting an opportunity now, I think, to share all this that you've learned through your experiences. I think have led you to such a beautiful spot. That's the conversation your son had with you when he wanted to play. Was that difficult?
Oh no, man, he loved it, and he it's funny. When he was 2, he picked the bat up and he was right-handed, and all of a sudden he goes, "Nah, I put it on this side," and I was left-handed. And I was lefty because my mom taught me how to hit lefty. So when he put it on lefty, I said, "Oh, this is
over.
It's time to blast off." You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were hyped.
So I was ready, but I love both my kids. I love my son. He's a good human being first and foremost. He's got some athletic talent, but he's going to have to work.
Yeah.
But all in all, whatever happens, he has given me the ability to go on trips and be with him and be on the field with him and watch him have success and watch him be on a team.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I'll always remember.
Yeah.
Who knows if he's going to play? Who knows if he's going to play in high school, college, or the pros? But just myself, VSA, PG has given me the ability to have that relationship with my entire family and him, playing in it. And that for that I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, just the fact that your name is still out there and you'll be able to make that impact. When baseball breaks your heart, a lot of people don't understand. We don't study anything else.
Yeah.
This is a sport you study. This is sport. This is what we do. If we're a classroom person, we would have been in the classroom. So I get that. I've been in that position where you just lost. So it's cool that and somehow baseball always sucks you back in one way or another.
One way or another.
And you're back, and I think you're starting to realize a lot of people know who Mo is. And the Vaughn name is big. It's real big. It means something in the sport. So speaking on that, let's veer off a little bit. We talked about your org. We talked about what you do. Let's talk about Mo. Let's get to know Mo a little more. I want to, how you are as a man now. As a coach, a guy who did everything he did in the past. Now you're a dad. Now you got VSA. You got the jewelry and you got some drip out here. You bouncing around. I see you out in the field. You did the big gold earrings. I see you moving. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the change. Because obviously you weren't like this before. You opened up a little bit more, which was cool because baseball was different back in the day. Now that it's where it's at, I want to see what you got.
I'm trying to get young people to understand a game that is very, very tough to understand. Number one, as a coach, it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of mental toughness to get them to that point.
Yeah.
I told people this: baseball's fun, but it ain't funny. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one of those games that if you play well and you lose, there's a way to play.
Yeah.
If you play well, if you don't play well and you don't look like you know what you're doing, that's when it's not fun. So I've always been in that situation where I wanted to make sure that we're prepared. We might not catch every ground ball, we might not get every hit, but at least we look like we're standing in the right spot.
Yeah.
So that was the big thing. So I'm at the point now. I've been with my son's team now he's going going on 5.5 years. I'm getting to the point where I can start to back away and let them move forward because they're getting it. They're going to be 12 years old. They understand how to play. I, as a coach, I played in the big leagues, and I understand what respect is. You respect the players, coaches respected us, and just because they're 12, you still got to respect them too. That's how you get it out of them. Now I've been around them so much. All these dudes are like my sons. I could grab them, scream at them, pick them up. I'll kiss them. I'll hug them, but I'll let them know there's certain things that I expect.
Yep.
So this is kind of more of the fun time for me in terms of like getting involved with them because they know I really care about them.
Yeah.
And that's where I am now. So when I'm on the field, I'm just kind of sitting back like the proud dad who's like, okay, we're not going to win and lose every game, but something that we're working on in practice, you're going to do. That makes me know that we're going in that direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I could be out there. Let me tell you, I could put a super team together that wouldn't lose, but that's not coaching to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gotta let them fail.
Gotta let them get beat a little bit. Gotta let them get beat up a little bit. Gotta let them understand what that hurt feels like to go back. But I just try to be myself when I'm out there, bring all of the information that I've been given as a player, realize what I didn't like as a player, how people disrespected and talked to me. Never do that.
Never
to them.
do that to a kid.
Never do that to them.
Yeah.
And teach them and understand it takes time and have patience, but also drive them too.
No, 100%.
Get to where you need them to get to. So it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun for me. And on the other side, I got into fishing. So I'm a fishing
I love fishing too, bro. I love it.
I got a 45-foot sport fish, a Tiara Open, and I'm out there every chance I can get.
Yeah, I'm a fisher too.
Deep sea, catching everything that I can catch. It gives me that sense of time where the phone doesn't work. And when you get out there, you don't think about what's happening on land. And a little bit of competition. The chase. The chase is what it's all about in the setup. So I really enjoy that. It's been a lifesaver for me.
And daughter was a tennis player, you were saying. A little bit of a different world, but crazy out here. Yeah, my daughter played tennis, and she decided to get out of the sport, and I'm happy that she didn't keep pushing for me. Like, everybody's gonna be an athlete. Yeah. Everybody's built to be athletes. You got to know your place and know what you got to do. So I'm proud of. I love both of them. They're
Happiness
all good.
is everything, right? As long as you're happy, you did a good job as a dad and as a person. Let's talk about you more. One of my biggest thing as a fan when watching you grow up, who was the best hitter? Because you were one of the best hitters to me. In my eyes, when you were out there, besides you, who was another best hitter and who was the best arm you faced?
The best arm I faced was Pedro Martinez when I came back to Boston.
Shout out FTB, his kid played for me. But go ahead.
And I think about this all the time because there's just so many great players. But the one guy I didn't want up in a key situation is Edgar Martinez.
Legend.
I just didn't want him up.
Yeah.
Because he was going to give me, that I just didn't ever want him up because he knew how to really handle a bat. In my era, I was lucky enough to see Don Malley. I was lucky enough to play against George Brett, Don Malley, Cal Ripken, Robin Yount. I got a taste of that era. So many great first basemen in there: McGuire, Jim Thome, Cecil Fielder, John Olerud, Rafael Palmeiro.
Legend.
Just you can just keep naming them.
Legends.
In my era that were great players. To be playing against them was.
And talking about your era, it's like that era was a home run era. That was like power era. Like you had power, everyone knew about you.
Yeah, it was.
And that was the real. That was real baseball back in the day, See ball, hit ball.
Most memorable home run?
I hit a ball when they offered Randy Myers in the strike season in '94.
Oh.
It was on Sunday night. I always play well on Sunday night baseball for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. I just thought that every
It's a good day.
Yeah, it was Sunday night baseball with Joe Morgan. I always played well. We were playing the Orioles. It was right before the All-Star break. We actually went out after the All-Star. We never came back. But I hit a home run off of Randy Myers, dead center in the new ballpark. That was one of my. I remember that.
See, that's got to be epic. One of my favorite memories is, who knew you were a linebacker? You know what I'm saying? You got to bring it up. When you came across first base and you took out, you lineback him, you hit him so hard, you laid him out.
Throwing at people.
Can we roll the video?
When you came across, you weren't even on the frame in the camera.
Because I was late. Nobody told me what was happening, so I'm sitting back there kicking rock. I look up, I go, he's running. I got to start running.
Yo, you took him out. He had no shot. He had no shot. Yeah. You took him out. I think that was one of my favorite memories. Again, that era, that time was different baseball. Baseball was either you respect it or you didn't, and if you didn't respect it, it was war.
And it was policed by the players.
Yes.
We didn't have to,
Let's talk about that, though. I like that. I think that's a pretty good conversation. A lot of these youth don't understand. A lot of these guys coming up do. The CCs and you and the Sheffields of the world, the guys who ran their dugout and policed it, as you say, the difference now is like from that mindset of, FU attitude and I have to run my dugout the way it should be to now you can look at the youth. The new gen is more what the office wants to run the dugout and what they want to do, which it don't affect us. We're travel ball guys, so you can say it.
Well, it's like there was no showboating in my era. Now there is.
Yeah.
And I like it. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I had a son that he's on TV watching. He's doing it.
Yeah.
So what am I gonna do? I don't know. We all gotta come up with the times. We all gotta evolve up. We gotta keep moving forward. We gotta, and back in my time, you hit a home run, you drop your bat and run. If you didn't, then you got dropped.
Yeah.
Certain things would happen that, you took somebody else that we thought that was a play of inconsistency and that you were trying to hurt somebody. Mm-hmm. Somebody gonna get drove. That's the way we did it.
100%.
But we understood that part. I hope the new generation understands. And you don't hit people in the head. You hit them in the side.
I think it's more the respect of seniorities back in the day than it was now. Back in the day you respected.
Well, it was different because back in my day, the salaries weren't there yet, but there were more veterans that were getting paid. There was 22 veterans, 2 rookies. As the salaries went up, it became more rookies, less veterans. So the whole thing switched, but that's okay. Listen, I went to the WBC.
Whew, that's a different atmosphere.
I was very proud to watch those guys walking on with the flags. I got to see players that I had just seen on TV, and I got to see them live.
Like it was World Series.
Them dudes could play, man.
They could play.
All of them. For the United States, and everywhere else. But I got to see all those guys that they can play, man. I was really impressed.
That's pretty awesome. I also like advice you could give these youth, these young guys. A guy like you ventured off after baseball. You got into real estate. Got into you handled your money well. Let's call it what it is, right? What advice can you give these guys? A lot of these, my first round is $7 million out of high school. What do they do with it? What do you do? A lot of us will run off and buy chains, buy a car, blow it. I think you did well for yourself. Again, you retired early due to injury, and I think you spun it around pretty well. I mean, from a guy that all he did was baseball.
Look at the example. It's 2024. You got the greatest baseball player to play, Ohtani.
Yeah.
And this guy stole money from him.
Yeah. $4 million, right?
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what is that? What that means is you got to find someone you trust. And that's not easy to do. I had money stolen from me too.
Yeah.
I luckily enough was able to have a partner my partner Eugene Snurv, that was my attorney. And he took care of me too. That's what like my coach did.
Wow.
And he was like, you know, a mentor. He's 5 years younger than me. And, you know, trust is the key to getting where you want to be. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't have that, you can't get to where people like me got to. Mm-hmm. And that's what I would, don't get somebody that's going to tell you what you want to hear. Get somebody that's going to tell you what you need to hear. Live for tomorrow, not for today. Try to see the forest through the trees. There will be a time when this game, like me, abruptly stopped it.
Yeah. Not even knowing.
Without even knowing. And you need to be prepared for that abrupt stop. Mm-hmm. I thought I was going to play another 6 or 7 years, making another $100 million, and boom, boom. I had an abrupt reset. Mm-hmm. So try to see the forest through the trees. Try to find trust. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm going to say it again. It's not easy. And play for the long haul and realize that when the game stops, there's very few things in life that are going to give you that amount of cash in those yearly time periods, and you need to prepare for that.
100%. I agree.
That's what I would say.
That's awesome.
But trust, whether it be relationship, friendship, business-wise, you know, the right agent, the right money guy,
right?
Trust. And it's hard.
It is
but
hard.
If you find that, then you can get there. And once you learn how to find it, then you can weave in and out of the garbage.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Once you learn how to find that trust and look at somebody and eye them up and go, that's not my guy that I need to be with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you get to that point, that's going to make you understand how to run the gauntlet.
No, that's pretty awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
You
got to
have a
get to
good
that
team.
point first.
Yeah,
you got to get to that point first.
Yeah. That's sweet. I think that that goes for everybody. You got to have a family-oriented team. You know what I mean? Some people you could trust in and out. I think that's awesome. You got anything for him?
I don't think so. I was going to just ask you, and you kind of answered it with that. I feel like just the legacy that you hope to leave, like not only for these kids, for your own kids, that's when you exit this earth, what do you hope to do with your time? You're not only through baseball, but like just leave to preach to people that you just gave it to them, that you're going to answer, but I don't know if you have more to add.
It's just like, I try to talk to my daughter and I say to her, stop worrying about your friends now. I don't have many friends that I've had when I was in grade school, high school. Some, but not many. Stop worrying about that opinion. Or worry about the opinion that's going to be down the line and later in life. Do what you need to do consistently to be successful. Figure out what your path is. Figure out what makes it work for you. And realize that at 25, you're going to be a certain way. At 30, you're going to be a certain way. Yeah. That 25 to 40, that's when all the landmines are. That's when you can get hit. That's when you can go away. That's when you can hit the penitentiary. That's when you can hit the wrong game. That's when you can get knocked out. That's when you can be dead. Or is that 25 to 40-year-old period?
I agree.
When all of the misunderstandings happening. If you can navigate that line, then you're going to jump to 40, and that's when you start deciphering, what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I talk to her. And for me personally, just I want to be someone known when I leave this earth, that he kept his word, and that he did what he say he was going to do, and he meant it, and he meant it, and he tried to help.
No, that's awesome. I think
That's all that matters to me.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
You guys, if you didn't hear it here first, listen to Mo. Buy teacher with Mo's verses on it.
Mo,
To
no.
help you out. Let's get it done. But now I want to thank Mo for being here with us. You know, I know you're a busy guy and appreciate you coming in. We're trying to change the culture with this podcast. So I really appreciate you coming out, being here with the home team.
Wonderful
Anytime.
advice.
I really do.
Thank you very much.
And shout out to my
Anytime.
co-host right here, Allie in the building. And it's your boy Nelly, man. Step Up Podcast. We'll be at it again. Shout out to Mo, baby.